I'm not one to ever pass up an opportunity for a good deal on some high-grade cannabis. So when I received a text from a friend of mine telling me that he could sell me a quarter ounce of some good shit for $25, I jumped at the chance. He led me on all day, telling me he would be dropping it off in the evening. Evening came, and so did the text saying he'd drop by later that night. And finally, at 11:30 that night, I received a text that sent a ping of anxiety running through me. "Sup, man? I'm headed out of town for the night. Your sack is in the garage under the ladder." I knew exactly what this entailed. I was to walk the 5 blocks to his old residence, a mutual friend's house where he lived in a loft in the garage, slip in unnoticed by the neighbors, search until I found it, leave the money, and be on my merry way. Simple, right? Wrong. The walk started off sketchy enough with the lone streetlight on the block going out as I left, plunging me into this unnatural pseudo-darkness. I walked along in silence, the only sound coming from the highway some distance away. I'd walked this walk before, even at this hour, but I couldn't shake this anticipation in my gut. I reached the house, which I must say is absolutely terrifying at night. Something didn't seem right. My friend is very strict with his bedtimes. This meant that the house was dark at exactly 10 p.m. each night. Tonight, though, there was a glow coming from the first floor. This could have been a number of things. Maybe he had other friends over, brought a girl home, getting a late-night snack. I quickly reassured myself as I stepped through the door into the pitch-black garage. I closed the door behind me and got to searching. The garage is separated into an upstairs and downstairs to save space. Upstairs, there's a washer and dryer, while downstairs was box storage that led under the stairs, forming a cave-like lair. Not gonna lie, it felt like a robbery simulator, rummaging through my friend's garage unnoticed, looking for drugs. My heart began to race at the thought. It really started racing, though, when I heard the heavy footfalls stomping their way toward the inside garage entrance. I had kicked a paint can on accident, so they probably heard it. Now, my first instinct told me that I should make myself known. It was my friend's place after all. He probably even knew about the whole deal. We'd laugh, he'd point out where it was, and I'd be on my merry way. And that's when I realized something. My friend does not own a single pair of boots. In a split instant, I had ducked down under the floorboards behind some boxes. The door outside was quite far away, the footsteps quickly approaching, so escape was not an option. I had to hide it out. I was so confused, I felt like I was in a slasher movie, hand over my mouth to keep from hyperventilating and everything. I listened as the door slammed open, the footsteps creaking slowly along the floorboards just inches to my right. They paced around the garage for what seemed like ages, grunting and taking heavy labored breaths. They stopped at the top of the stairs, never making their way down though. Soon enough, they made their way back into the house, slamming the door behind them. As soon as the door clicked, I bolted, and I didn't stop running until I was back home tucked away in bed, every single light in the house on for the rest of the night. I wasn't about to get the cops involved with the situation, lest they go searching and get my friend in trouble, so I simply sent him a text message and went to sleep. I awoke to 2 texts in the morning. The first was a message from my dealer friend, asking me if I was alright. The second was a text from the friend who owned the house, telling me he got stuck at a friend's house overnight. I was so fucking confused. Later that day, the friend with the house sent me news links over Facebook with no caption. It was a news report about a burglary and murder that took place on my friend's street. 2 houses had already been confirmed as being broken into in the middle of the night. The first was the home of an injured veteran. He was found in the bedroom, a 9mm slug lodged into his head, all the valuables in the house gone. The second house was my friend's.